let's go on to your thing there, sweetie.
Well, I have a feeling that segueing into what we have to talk about, laughter is going to continue because it has to deal with having a fear. Do you have a fear of anything? Do you have a phobia or fear?
Yes. Oh, for sure I do.
What is your phobia or fear? Are you willing to talk about that, or at least you don't have to talk about it, but just tell it. Just give one.
Several, but the worst one by far. Like you remember those shows like Fear Factor, those reality shows?
Oh yeah.
Where they ask you to do and dare you to do things and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I could never cope with the ones where they would put the contestant in the chamber with the tarantulas.
Do you have a spider fear as well?
I could never cope with those. So I hope I would be calm in a situation, but I really don't ever want to be in a situation where now and it's maybe, I mean, it is all spiders, but for sure it's worse with the hairy, big tarantula type spiders.
I might be getting a little bit of goosebumps just talking about that, but okay. Yeah.
Why do you ask?
Because I just so happen to have a pretty good phobia of spiders myself. I don't have a high tolerance to the creatures. I can handle almost all creepy crawlies, and I can handle snakes. I can deal with mice, rats. I mean, they're weird, but they're okay. I can handle these other weird, crazy creatures. I cannot handle spiders very well. And I have let my people at work know that I might have a minor fear to spiders. And so, they're like, yeah, that's funny.
I can
move
see
on.
Some practical jokes coming.
Oh, we have two particular incidents that caused quite a laughter at work a few times now.
At your expense?
At my expense, actually.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You want to hear this?
Yeah.
Last Friday, I was, in between groups, and we were in between doing things, and, being a human being who had drank a lot of coffee that morning, I had to go to the restroom. Wow. I, went into the restroom and was just happily doing my business, where out of nowhere, on the other side of the wall, right in front of me, a spider comes running out straight towards me in the toilet. I almost peed on myself because in mid-pee, I'm about ready to stand up and run out of this room, all right? But I held it together. I'm holding it cool because, the people are out and, if I scream and shouted, I'm sure I would make some major concerns for some of our people. So I kept it cool, but I'm literally freaking out because, luckily it was towards the end of going to the restroom when it decides to run towards me. But I hear it jump up, and I am tearing my pants off. I'm looking in my pants, my underwear, on my legs, making sure it didn't crawl up my pant legs, because as soon as it went between my legs, it disappeared. Couldn't find it. Couldn't find it. And my pants are down. So I was like, did they crawl into my pants? Where did they go?
No.
Out. So, I come out of the restroom and I'm all like, and my consumers are like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, and once I was able to tell my story, they laughed. They laughed. They were like, you almost peed on yourself because of a bug. because of a bug. Oh, no, it was bad. It was super bad. I could not go back into that restroom for the rest of the day. Well, I'm having to go to see one of my other clients out on the road. So I had to go to the restroom because I hadn't gone for the rest of the day. I literally had one of our people go in, look around in the bathroom, and they're like, no, don't see anything. I'm like, no, look behind the toilet. See that little sticky thing? You know, the little stick thing? Move it. Make sure it's not underneath that. Move the garbage can. Is it under the garbage can? The poor guy, bless his heart, he was just so sweet, laughing hysterically as he's doing this for me, but still, he did it for me. And I was able to go to the bathroom. But during the whole time, I'm holding my pants as high as I can possibly go. I'm squatting, I'm looking, I'm like, you know, it was not a pretty sight to be had while I was trying to relieve myself so that I could go out on the road for a 45-minute drive. And of course, as soon as I calmed down and everything, the first thing they said, oh, you're going to talk about this on your show? I'm like, I will make sure I will talk about this on my show because, yes, it was most funny. So,
well, if I can put you on the spot with it, what kind of terror was it? Was it like an instinctual thing, or was it something that was like calculating, or was it just like, you know, how was it that it just come upon you and you couldn't control it kind of situation, or what was it that was so terrifying about it?
Oh, okay. For any children who are listening, cover your ears. It was a oh shit, and I couldn't respond and or think past that. So no, there was no higher brain functioning happening during this fear factor. All other brain functions, except for the emotional overload of fear, was the only thing that was forefront in my brain. So yes, if you asked me to do a simple task of like buttoning my pants, which I'm actually quite shocked I was capable of doing, and not come out in this total disarray with my pants around my ankles, I at least was able to pull myself together for that. But that was about the highest part of my functioning during the terrible fear. I actually had to like go into the other restroom and wash my hands because I was like, no, I was out. Nope.
Wow.
Mm-mm.
Now, can you describe the spider? I mean, was it any particular kind, or was it just your average generic spider?
It was a spider. It was a spider, and it had legs, and it was brown, and it ran towards me. That's all I can remember. I can't tell you anything about it. You know, as far as I know, it could have even been one of those, like, little centipede things. And because it moved so quickly, I didn't see exactly what it was, but it still didn't matter. No, there was too much of an undertone that it was a little too much like a spider.
Right.
So, that was my fun Friday at work last Friday. So today, we were doing kind of like a community awareness, leisure activities, trying to do things to kind of utilize the hand and mind to help with distraction and racing thoughts and coping skills and things like that. And we had the local town's bus station had moved actually right across the street from us, which I'm not a big fan of because it made things a little more noisy, but we all took a jaunt across the street today to go look at the new bus station, get a new bus schedule, so that, you know, teaching consumer awareness and, you know, ways to for transportation, you know, where you can catch things and stuff like that so that they can be more independent in doing things. And we came back. I sent the crew on a break, and I was heading towards my office to go sit down and do some things between while they were on break. And I pull out my chair, and on there is this big spider. No, it was not real. Relax. But my brain did not register that. So inappropriately, at work, I may have said sugar honey iced tea without all the words in between, and they allowed with a scream and jumped back.
Right.
Of course, I should have known something was up because half of the consumers were standing there in the hallway, just in the lounge area, just chilling out. And I'm like, I didn't think anything of it because we just came in. Maybe they just didn't feel like sitting down yet. Oh, I should have known. Because laughter ensued, okay? They were having way too much fun. So nobody would fess up to who put it there. Nobody would move it. I wanted to get my coffee cup so I could make tea and go back to group. Luckily, I had a very nice consumer who wasn't sure what was going on, and I coaxed him into my office to go get me my cup for my coffee so I can make more tea. And my boss came in, and my boss was like, "Why do you look like, a deer caught in headlights, and what's going on?" And I said, "Go look on my chair." So she pulls out my chair, and she goes, "Oh, my goodness, that is so funny." And she's not saying it twice. She is just laughing. Oh, she's like, "Oh, this is beautiful. This is perfect." And so I walk away from her hilarious laughing and head back to group. And I'm sitting down, and I'm about to sit down when I see her walk by, and it looks like she has this plastic spider in her hand. I'm like, "Oh, no. And I'm in a corner somewhere by the window, and I'm like, nope. She goes, "What?" I says, "I saw it in your hand." She goes, "I don't know what you're talking about." I'm like, I saw it. And she's like, she's showing her hands, and she's like patting herself down. I'm like, "Seriously, I don't have it." Well, she, of course, slickly passed it on to somebody. I'm like, "Are you serious?" She goes, "No, it's all good, good. And so, I sit down in my seat and my papers in front of me to go over what we were going to talk about, and I'm about to lift them up, and there was 2 other little black plastic spiders sitting right there. Stood up, went to the corner, might have said that sugar honey iced tea again, with a little squeal. Luckily, the boss was okay with sugar honey iced tea because I said it quite a few times today. And they're like, of course, laughter ensues, and I'm all like, and I'm like, I had a sweater on because it's a little bit chilly up here up east. And, I was, by that time, I'm like sweating, sweater was coming off, They're like, we got him, they're gone. And so the boss decides to sit in a group. Now, mind you, my boss is phenomenal. She's really great. She has a lot of years of experience in my line of work. And she was kind of like, well, let's talk about other people's spiders. And referencing to what fears do people have that really just stop them from being able to function. And so I finally sit back down, and I'm calming down, and I said, like, now keep in mind, guys, whenever she's talking about spiders, my fear will literally stop me from being in a room or from going somewhere or from doing something, because that fear will prohibit me from doing something because it's so overwhelming. So that is when she refers to your spider, what is that to you? And we're carrying on the conversation. Now, one of the things that are really great about our group is that we have little stress, keep our hands busy things on the table, like little stress balls. We have like adult putty where you can like shape it into things and roll it on the table and just kind of keep your hands busy so that you don't get fidgety. Well, since I was having some stress and I was fidgety, I decided to grab one of the putty things. Now the thing is that some of our putty is getting a little too gooey, and so you have to find the one that's still very solid and not sticking on in your hand. So I'm going like through 3 or 4 of them, and I finally find into one, and I noticed it seemed like it had a little more than it usual. But I'm thinking that, well, the consumers, they pull them apart, and maybe they put too much back into one container. And so I'm not thinking anything of it, and I pull it out of the little container, and I set it on the table, and I'm like, why is this so hard? Well, I flip it over, and one of the consumers put a little black spider in there again. And, of course, sugar honey iced tea, and I screeched and sat back in my chair and pushed it against the wall, and laughter ensues again. And they're like, and I'm like, any more, guys? Any more? And they're like, no, that's the last one. As the one person finally fessed up that, they brought in the spiders, and all for the fun of dealing with it. And they're like, oh, well, we can use this as exposure therapy to help you with your fear.
Oh, my
I said,
goodness.
yeah, you can
now they're
expose that somewhere else. Thank you. So yeah, but the thing is that it actually turned out to be a good teaching tool to identify what is your fear that kind of really stops you from doing things in your life and moving on and things because of fear. And we were able to discuss that and kind of get that out there, but. And, luckily, because I have such a relaxed demeanor and I can handle being joked and picked on in such a way that it really didn't bother me because, yes, did I have some laughter afterwards after each moment after I settled down? Of course I laughed with them. And, of course, they're all like, oh, we're not laughing at you, we're laughing with you. And then, if they were really being sarcastic, like, no, we're really laughing at you. And, but it was a good teaching tool, but, I had been quite energized today by the fact that, I had to deal with spiders. Thank you so much for being a follower. Feel free to like us and follow us on our channel. This is a really great idea. Just pop out, and it's wonderful that we kind of just come together, and we thank you for listening to us.